actually thought about wearing my camp shirt today too. So,
Yeah, I've been rocking the camp shirt all day. What's up, everybody?
hey yo
Cut
yo yo,
a little down to the wire today.
very down to the wire on my end.
We always got to eat, you know, and see his moms.
Had to see the moms tonight. She wanted me and the little one to stop by and have a little family dinner, and we just got talking. She was trying to talk life. Ain't seen the baby boy, in a while, so she's like, "Oh, you and that girl get back together?" It's like, nah, no.
Nah, which I'm sure we would have talked a little bit on last Monday. We were going to do a mental health Monday for y'all, but my ass was in the hospital that night. I'm all good. I'm all good, but postponed our show. But we'll come back at you next Monday with a little bit of mental health Monday. I know we're ready for some, so it'll be nice to jump back into that.
I'm definitely ready for some mental health Monday myself.
Of course, obligatory housekeeping here. Summer Camp of Horrors. First off, thank you to who have been hyping up the trailer. Everybody who's been watching the trailer, thank you guys so much. It's our most watched video right now. I think we've accumulated about 2,000 views across all of our platforms, which that might not be a big deal to some people, but for anybody who's been following our little journey here, that's a pretty big deal for us.
It's a big deal for us.
We're a couple subscribers away from busting that 100. So let's do it, people. Let's 2 more. Who's going to be number 100? It's exciting stuff, and we'll probably be dropping one more trailer before we release the show. That will include the official release date for you guys. We won't say when the show's coming out, but it is soon. It is next month. You do know it's September, but you don't know what day.
Yeah, so, could be the very last fucking day if we choose.
Yeah, you don't know. It could be September 30th. Is there 31
yeah,
days?
30.
I don't know, but it's
September
coming.
is definitely a 30.
Yeah, it's on its way.
It is, man, and it's been fun. It's been fun this past week releasing that trailer and just seeing the hype, the excitement that's been building around it, bro. It's great.
The reaction's been overwhelmingly positive, and I mean we're tickled to death over here. I mean, y'all are making us feel so good, and it's really pushing us to get this thing finished and make it as great as possible for everybody. So I'm really excited for everybody to see the finished product
and to show it off too, because you got Chase wearing the shirt, and as you can see in the back there's a little bloody prop. You got to see a little bit of that within the trailer. Yeah, that's an official. Maybe we'll give it away in a giveaway someday. I'll take it off the wall
if he's willing to part with it. That is.
I don't know, man. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope to look at that shit and know, we're doing things out here. We're making our own fucking series just because we can. Just because we can.
A little 8-parter. It's coming soon. So
again, it is, man.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's been fun working with all the people we've been working with. We've gained a lot of new friends out of doing this shit. So you never know when you might see some of these actors and actresses pop back up in some Chase Shep shit down the road.
It's true. I'm looking forward to pretty much working with everybody again. We've been very fortunate as far as the cast that we've got for the show, but we won't get too much into that. Just thank you. That's all we want to say here. But this week, we start wrapping up some TV shows this week, which hopefully you're doing the same, so that you got time to be watching old Chase Shep Summer Camp of Horrors next month. So I think we'll save What If for last, because we're going to get into some spoiler territory there. So we'll just go down the list here. I finished a few shows that you haven't been watching on. I want to drop some scores on them. I feel a certain type of way about some of these shows I've been watching.
Okay.
We'll work our way. I think we'll just work our way like worst to best today. So with that being said, American Horror Stories premiered a few weeks ago. I love horror anthology shows. That's my shit. I love like the week to week, like new episodes, like new horror stories, like and I usually like American Horror Story. So I was like, oh, this should be cool. This is the biggest flaming ball of trash I've ever watched, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not fun trash like Gossip Girl. It's just fucking trash.
Yeah, no, I did check that one episode out. You kept telling me I needed to, and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I was only telling you to watch it because I just wanted somebody else's opinion. Like, I just wanted to know what other people thought. There was one
It was predictable. It was very predictable.
Well, technically, the last episode is tomorrow, and I don't think it's going to affect my score on this whatsoever. I'm probably just going to give it a flat out 5 out of 10 overall, and that's even generous. I feel like it has a it has a 5 because it probably got that additional 0.5 for potential, brought it up from a 4.5, whatever, into a 5 out of 10 because there was one episode, I think it was episode 5. It was pretty good for the most part, except it was just like a poor man's Rosemary's Baby is all it was, and it was so fucking predictable. And like by the end of it, I'm like, this was so stupid. Like the motivation behind it and all of it, and it's just a straight rehash of Rosemary's Baby. And I don't mind like rehashing ideas. Like I don't mind that as long as it's done well. And American Horror Stories has not fucking done that. They've rehashed a lot of ideas and it's all been done terribly. I don't know, man. I don't know. That show is just awful. And I'm gonna watch the last episode tomorrow because I'm gonna see that shit through to the end. And last week's episode was okay as well, but again, like it wrapped up. I'm like, well, that was fucking stupid too. Like it's just been dumb after dumb after dumb. It's not dumb fun like Gossip Girl, like I said, which they finished part 1 of that. Season 1 picks back up in November. I'm excited.
You're sad now. You ain't got no Gossip Girl to watch.
No Gossip Girl to watch on. I guess I can watch the OG, but I don't see that happening.
XOXO Gossip Girl.
American Horror Stories, fat old 5 out of 10. It's a flaming piece of shit. So moving on up from that, the other show I finished this week that a lot of people were really digging, and if you have watched this show and you dug it, let me know why. Fill me in. I'm willing to listen, but that is The White Lotus over on HBO, and I wanted to check this out because it had a dope cast. Like I was intrigued. Steve Zahn's in it, and that's my dude. Like I love Steve Zahn. But I don't know, man. Like I felt like the show, for one, was hella predictable. Like I saw, like in the first episode, they set up that somebody has died. And by the time the last episode came around, I'm like, I know who's gonna die. Like, I figured it out. I kind of figured out exactly, like, there were other storylines that were going on that I kind of predicted how they were all going to end. And it's a real testament to why you have to have at least one likable character. And I'm all for unlikable characters. That's fine. But oh my God, dude, there's not a single character in this show that you can like feel for. Like they're all just such pieces of shit that you're just like, wow, like that nobody gets any better. Like, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's a dark comedy. It's like a little absurdist, like humor and stuff like that. And I get that. That's cool. I fuck with that kind of stuff. But this one just didn't do it for me. I mean, the critics are loving it. People are loving the show. I guess it's popular on TikTok from what Priyanka was telling me. It's just not for me. So I'm probably going to drop a 6.5 out of 10 for old White Lotus.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm watching on FX. They just started a new show from Taika Waititi called Reservation Dogs. It's okay so far, so we'll have to revisit that when it's done. See what we think. So moving back up on the list here. Now we're caught up. Something you and I both watch. Dave. Now,
hi, I'm Dave. Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about Dave for weeks now. And we're gonna dive into this one a little bit because I gotta say, man, what a season! Yeah. Holy shit, what a season! And I've talked to people personally, and I've seen people online say that they just gave up on this season, which I get. Those first 4 episodes were pretty weak. Some of them were just pretty weird. But those last 6 episodes just got better and better and better and better. I mean, some of those were some of the best pieces of television I've seen this
Oh
year.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easily. The way that Lil D came in and just has a way to just like pull your emotions up and down, up and down, up and down throughout episodes and just hook you in, man. I've been telling people a lot of this too. Like a lot of this has been like, damn, self-realizations and shit with this season of Little Dicky and me and being like, fuck. Especially at like the, we haven't got to really talk. I kept telling you, you got to get caught up on these. And I know you are now. It's episode 8. That just, to me, was just like, damn, like, first they had the song part where he's like jamming out his songs and he's got like the Me Too song that's funny and you're like laughing. And then the next song was like, they didn't jank them, they didn't play it, but they explained it. And that was like wild. And then they play this like emotional ass song that's like, to me, hit me on a personal level, but at the same time, it's like you didn't see this characterization of Little Dicky. And it's like, man, I know they ain't just going to play that and that's it. I'm glad it came looped around at the end. But the part that was like a lot to me was, when he's dealing with his parents and he's arguing with his parents when they're having dinner and shit. And then he's like sitting there and he kind of like has a mini breakdown in front of him being like, I don't even know your favorite color. I don't even fucking know you. If you died tomorrow, I wouldn't even know how to write a eulogy for you. And that's, like, that's some real shit. Especially
that's what hit me hard in that episode. That one definitely got me teary-eyed when he started saying that. Like, I don't even know you guys, and
yeah,
and you do so much for me. And that's how I feel about my own parents sometimes. I mean, like, I think my mom is just the MVP. She's done so much for me just in the past week alone. Let alone my whole life. And her birthday was this past Sunday, so happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, happy birthday, moms.
But I thought about that, it made me think about, there's been a few times in my life where my father has dropped some stories on me, like from his life, and they've been few and far between, but they've stuck with me. They've always stuck with me. I always like getting to hear stories from any family, not just parents, but like grandparents, stuff like that. Like I always think about that. It's like, I don't really know you, do I? Parents are people too. I believe we've said that.
They are. And that's and it's just like how Little Dicky presents that across with like, the mom coming out and being like, your dad's depressed. And he's like, you're depressed since when? And his dad just kind of sits there like, you can tell he's thinking, he's like, I guess the whole time. Yeah. And he's like, how come you never told me? He's like, you never asked. And then that's where it's like, damn, like a lot of, when you become an adult, I get the duality of it because I'm at the age where I've got like my mom and the way I deal with my parents. And then I've got a son that's teenager, 14. So a lot of that is just like that. Like you as a parent are reaching out to your child a lot to be like, hey, how you doing? Checking up on you, making sure you're good. And they're like, yeah, I'm good. But not, your child's living, you're out there living, you're trying to build a life or living a life. You forget to ask, well, how are you though?
Yeah.
And it's been big, man. And with Little Dicky, Dave season 2, going into it, my favorite character and a guy that I'm glad we got to see shine was Gata in this one, because I think in season 1 he had that standout episode with the mental health one.
Yeah.
That was a big impactful episode when that came out and pretty much made that season for me. And so to see his character, especially when it hits that season finale, and you get Dave's realization of like, you get to see like bits and pieces of Gata's life throughout this shit.
Yeah.
And his mentality and how he's positive and he's trying to get that opportunity, trying to find a way to level up basically. And it gets to that last, that finale and him and Dave are going at it. And he's realized, he's like, you're bitching about having writer's block in a fucking mansion while I'm recording songs in my closet.
Yeah. Like every day. Yeah. Like that hit too. Yeah. Because again, something with the season, I don't blame the people who after a few episodes at the beginning of the season was like, I can't do this shit anymore. Like I get it. Some of those episodes were just hella awkward, super weird. That wouldn't hit for some people. But for anyone who stuck with it, it was very rewarding because one big thing for me this season, I'm like, Dave is such a piece of shit. Like he's such an asshole. But episode 9, where he goes to Rick Rubin's studio and he has that like revelatory moment of just kind of seeing how big of an asshole he's been and the things that he needs to work on and change. Like I was so satisfied with that because of how he had been acting all season long. And it's like you said, there's been a lot of self-realization through this season for him, and a lot of moments to let the supporting characters shine. And I've always said I think that's the best part of Dave is the supporting characters. And both episode 9 and 10 just have these endings that just I mean pump that emotion up in you. I mean they really do, like you said, he just kind of knows how to work that emotion. And I oh man, I felt so like amped up at the end of episode 9 when he gets up out of that chamber and they pump the water out of him and he just takes off running. He goes into the studio and is like hit record and just immediately just starts doing the song he was doing in his little coma dream. And I just thought that was great. And then it's like, how does an ending get better? Easy. Episode 10. And that, like you said, that shit with Gata, it had such a satisfying ending again. Like you said, Gata was kind of shining throughout the season, kind of getting his moments. And there at the end, when he confronts Dickie about some stuff, and they have that little confrontation, and it cuts away to him doing the VMA performance, and he's all like, "Hey, is Gata okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm sure he's fine." And you see Gata, and he's all emotional and shit, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like
Heartbroken.
Yeah, I really felt bad about how that conversation just went down.
Yeah, no, like being
platform started rising, and I'm like, what's this? And when he fucking took the stage and Dickie changed his whole performance to let Gata come and perform with him and stuff, and they just did, oh my god, dude! I literally just started fucking crying like tears of joy. I was that's so fucking beautiful.
No, it was
beautiful for somebody. Dick jokes all season long. He's just dick and fart guy, and then it's just he knows how to just get in there with the emotions too. It's amazing.
And the way you go from literally being like I said, when you're invested in these characters, literally being heartbroken for this guy, like damn, especially like me correlating all my life to it's like I feel that, bro, and I know where he's at right now, and you got to sit there and just take that, and damn, and then it's like he pops out the top, and he's like, "Yo, motherfuckers, ready for little Dickie?" And then it's just instantly you just bust down with tears of joy, and it's like, fucking Dave, little Dickie, man, you fucking did it, bro, like hell yeah.
Yeah, and season 1 ended on such a dope scene. I mean, that scene was amazing. And this scene was amazing. I mean, I can't wait for a season 3, if there is one.
Well, all of it was, man. I would even say when they show the VMA award in it, performance that he does,
yeah, it was
cool. That was some dope shit. I was like, damn, son, okay, we're really doing it.
He needs to just start releasing the music from his show too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's been really good this season.
People
there's on YouTube, rip it and put it on YouTube.
There's a lot of it because episode 8 hit, you know what I'm saying? And then there's that song on the outro. That's the song that little Dickie does when it's coming into the episode, and he's doing his emo. Yeah. Different persona. Well, they actually play the studio recording of that song at the end, and that shit is legit. I was I heard it, and I was like, oh damn, this must be a new song. I want to find where this is, so I go to Shazam it, and it's no results, results, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I googled it, and people was asking, and the comments being like, dude, it's the song he does at the beginning. It's Little Dickie, man, and being like, this motherfucker better release all this shit.
Yeah,
and I agree. I think he should.
Yeah, but now that Dave's done, I don't know if you've watched this, but season 2 of a show that I'm so fucking excited. The season 2 starts next month, so it'll replace Dave for me as far as following a musician. Wu-Tang: An American Saga season 2 drops in a few weeks, and that show's oh man, that show's fucking awesome. So you know me, I'm Wu-Tang forever, so I can't wait for.
I've got tons of shows right now I'm watching, so it's I got Stargirl. I haven't caught episode 2, but I caught episode 1 last week of Stargirl.
Yeah, you dove in all the DC stuff. I will say before I let you run loose on the DC stuff, I finally caught the Suicide Squad at the IMAX. That is the way that movie was intended to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it made such a difference for me. I mean, I liked it before, but like I told you when we were on the phone the other day, just when I caught the first 15 minutes of it at the IMAX, I said, this is the kind of thing that makes me want to make movies. It was just such an amazing experience at the theater. It's just a goddamn shame that it was a bomb at the box office. Like nobody went and saw it. Everybody stayed at home and watched it on the Max. So
Hopefully Shang-Chi doesn't get that same Shang-Chi or whatever doesn't get the same reception because that movie looks lit.
yeah, that's been getting insane reviews too. So I'm excited.
I did see a lot of really good things.
Yeah, and speaking of a movie that got really good reviews that I caught and have to agree, pile on to that is Free Guy.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
It was just fun, man. It was just such a feel good time. Like it was nice, in a movie in a world full of darkness. Sometimes it's so nice to just see a feel good movie like that. So it was dope. Yeah,
nice.
So what you've been watching on that I haven't been watching?
So in the DC universe, I guess I'll try to. Well, for Stargirl, I'll say whatever. I doubt you're getting into the CW DC side. Which I don't, like I said, I don't delve too much into it. I don't do the flashes and all that no more. I used to watch that, but last year, the year before, whenever season 1 of Stargirl came out for whatever reason, there's like half a season. I was like, fuck, I'll watch it. And then the actor Luke Wilson, he's in it. So I was like, fuck, all right, I like him. He's cool. And then I said, fuck it. I stayed with it. And then so season 2 just dropped, like the first episode. All these characters, second generation of Justice Society of America. So, it's basically tying up, like not tying up loose ends from the first season, but like they're still dealing with shit from the first season. Out on patrol every night. Stargirl's like, yo, there's got to be some villain shit going down. But everybody else is like, yo, it's been quiet since we destroyed I forget what their villains was called.
Yeah.
But they got a little name to them too. Stargirl's like, bullshit, I know something's got to, be going down. And then, you find out she's getting failing grades, so she's got to go to summer school. And I think that's what this
superheroes got to study, kids.
I think that's what the season's called, is Stargirl Summer School or some shit like that. But so she got to go to summer school. So of course, Luke Wilson, he's like, yo, girl, like you got to put the staff away for a while and like really do the study and shit. She's like, I don't know though. Like, she's looking through like files at 4 a.m. and shit. And he's like, nah, you got to go to bed, G. And then a Green Lantern chick shows up at the end.
Oh.
For the lantern, it starts flashing green, and then she pops out with it, and they have a little fight. And she's like, "Who the hell are you?" And she's like, I'm the Green Lantern's daughter. That's what she says.
Oh, sweet.
And that's where that one ended. I didn't catch the second episode yet. I think that just came out last night.
Yeah.
And then I think tomorrow, the 4th episode of Titans season 3 will drop. Which I am currently caught up, so I dove in last week.
Hopefully I can catch up, because like I said, I went to start season 2 and watched that recap, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't remember any of this, bro. Like,
it gets so banana so quick. It gets so banana so quick.
Titans is one of my favorite DC things. Those DC Universe shows I really fucked with when DC Universe briefly existed. I really fucked with the first season of Titans and the first season of Doom Patrol, so I need to catch up on both those.
Yeah, and like, bro, they put out 3 episodes last week with the season series premiere.
Just not fucking help with catching up. I'm like,
but like, Red Hood. I thought maybe, hey man, this might be too quick, bro. Like, we only really had Jason Todd like in a little bit of the show. And he's going to be the Red Hood that quick, but like they're going a different approach than the comic books did, I guess. Joker still gets, that happens within the first like minute and a half of the first episode.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's real quick that they, and they never show the Joker face on. They only show him from behind.
Yeah. I wondered about that.
Which I like. We don't need another Joker. And he, I guess it's mild spoiler. Like the only kind of spoiler I'll give for any of these, the Joker doesn't last very long. After that, because that's kind of like basically that's how they start the season off with in the first episode of
My ass.
well, they're establishing all these characters, and after Jason Todd dies, Bruce Wayne's like, yeah, you live, you die. That's part of the game. He's already got files up on all these other Robins, which were cool Easter eggs. Carrie Kelly was in there, or whatever her name is.
Right.
Stephanie Brown was up in there. A bunch of Robins from the comic books. I think all of them was, but the whole thing kind of centered around, like Dick and the new character of Barbara Gordon, Babs, up in there. Kind of telling Bruce Wayne, you're kind of a fucking piece of shit. You kind of, fuck these kids up like you did us, and you get them involved in some assassin shit and get them killed. It's kind of fucked up that you're already looking for a replacement.
I do love that about Titans. Like,
yeah,
their take on Bruce Wayne and Batman. I enjoy that a lot.
I'm so interested to see.
Yeah, it's a very unique take.
Well, and where they're going to go with this one, because then, like I said, like the only kind of spoiler I'll give, and this is the first episode, there's 3 of them, just to get it lit and started off, is like, I think it pretty much ended off with not Batman, but Bruce Wayne coming in, waking Nightwing up in the middle of the night, and he's like, yo, you guys was right. Me and Joker just played this game with one another this whole time, and innocent people had to die. And he's like, throws a crowbar down, and he's like, the funniest thing is, as his brains was spilling out, all he could do was laugh. And he's like, the city's yours now, and just runs off into the fucking shadows of the night. And so that just sets the tone of this season off. Like, Nightwing's in control of Gotham. All the villains in town know the Bat's gone.
Damn.
So, it's like you got Scarecrow popping in, Red Hood, which I do think they're doing Red Hood really good. Scarecrow, he fucks with weed, which I think is funny.
Yeah, I'm excited to get all caught up.
Yeah, I think it's good. I like what they're doing with the characters so far. Haven't seen all the characters that are the Titans yet, but there's a lot of major shit that goes down. Especially, within that. I know at the moment they've got a Red Hood series planned.
Oh.
Like an offshoot Red Hood series. But I don't understand how they're going to turn him into a hero. He's done some fucking fuck shit.
Yeah.
He does some fuck shit. They didn't play when they were like, we're doing Red Hood. At all. So I highly recommend it. If you are a fan of the DC Comics, you might, go in with an open mind. Don't think it's going to be
it's not Teen Titans.
No, it's not that, and it's not like the comics. It's
new.
One of the things I tell a lot of people, because they were always turned off by the very first trailer, especially with the "fuck Batman" line,
which plays so much better in the show.
It does. I'm like, dude, it's like I was like, yeah, in the trailer it looked corny. I thought that was cringe and corny as fuck when I was like, actually, I didn't watch the show because of that. I think I picked up Titans somewhat into season 2.
Yeah.
When I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it. But when that line hits and it's like Robin comes in, he's off in a couple motherfuckers, and a villain's like, hey, Batman doesn't kill, and he kills his ass, and it's like, fuck Batman.
It hits in the show, but it was corny as hell in the trailer for sure.
So definitely, honestly, check that one out. Get on the ball.
Yeah. We were talking about it. That's, what's kind of difficult about all this. Because usually I'm more of a movie guy than a TV show guy. And it's honestly because there's so much content coming out these days that it's hard, man. Like, you got to start making decisions. Like, what am I going to watch? What am I going to let slip through the cracks? Like, got my whole life to catch up on shit, but
well, luckily we got people like Rick and Morty doing us a solid and holding off till September 5th.
For what, a new episode?
For the finale, yeah. And
I'm still way the fuck behind on that.
Yeah, they're waiting September 5th. There's an hour-long season finale.
I need to look like at the actual like calendar of releases for like September and October, but just off the top of my head, it's already crazy. Like, I there's so many shows I want to watch that come out in the next couple of months that it's already overwhelming. I'm just like, we we need to start getting paid to do this so that we have time to fucking watch these shows. Like, because I don't have the time to sit back and watch a lot of these shows. They just dropped the trailer for, and this might not be your bag, but they just dropped the trailer for Star Wars Visions, which is like an anime Star Wars thing. And holy shit, that I don't know if that show's gonna be anywhere near as good as that trailer was, because that trailer was fucking amazing. Like, it blew me away, bro. Like, I didn't think I could get that excited over an anime like version of Star Wars, but that
Right.
trailer was insane. And I am so hyped for that. And I was very hyped to find out that they're just dropping all the episodes at once on Disney Plus. And it's around the time What If will be kind of wrapping up. But we talked about this, I think, last week about, because they're going to cross over. What If doesn't end until the beginning of October, so they're going to cross over a little bit. And we wondered if they would do that later on. And I said, hey, that's just good eating for nerds. That's Star Wars on Marvel on, and now congratulations, Disney Plus. You're going to have me sitting in front of your streaming platform for at least a full day watching Visions and What If. So congrats. And then we got Chucky coming up. New season
Chucky, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
What is that even on? Is that on Paramount Plus? That's got to be.
It's on CW.
It's on CW? No shit.
Yeah, I found this out by watching Stargirl.
There you go.
And it's like Legends of the Hidden Temple coming this October, I believe. And I was like, what? And I looked it up and it was like for adults. And it's like OMAC is back. And I was like, Silver Monkeys, bro.
They're on to something over there. That old Nickelodeon fucking just rebooting stuff. And instead of rebooting it for kids, they're like, what if we just rebooted it for the adults that grew up
watched it? Yeah, bro, I'm telling you,
I haven't watched this.
If they bring back Global Guts, sign me up.
I don't know that one.
You didn't know that? You got like the piece of the aggro crag, had to climb that big ass mountain at the end.
Maybe and
like hit the buzzer at the top and you'd win.
Yeah.
And it's like
a Double Dare and all that shit.
You'd have to do the shit where you're on like the mats and you'd have to like bounce down and jump up and shoot a basketball, and you'd have like 3 teams colors. It was like Team USA.
Hit up your boys. We want to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple or Double Dare or something.
Well, the Legends of the Hidden Temple, like I said, I looked it up and they did have a casting call, but it was for July. And I was like, damn.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2. I will fly me and you out to
we will go
LA.
Fuck it takes. We will go and do it.
And we will be on the Silver Monkeys team, Chase Shep, baby.
Hell yeah. So you got anything else? Anything else to recommend? Anything?
I don't believe so. I'm sure there's something. I've been watching the people that did Dark Side of the Ring, Vice, they're doing Dark Side of the 90s.
Oh.
So I've been watching that. They did one on Sub Pop I just watched last night. The label Sub Pop, which that's grunge. That's the whole grunge scene basically of the 90s. So
and you caught the first episode of Heels, right?
Heels, yes, that's the other one. I was like, there's got to be something else I'm watching. Yes, yeah. Heels.
Is that Stars? Is that what
that's on Stars with Stephen Amell, and that one's pretty good. Again,
pretty good, and I'm not a wrestling dude, and that looked really good.
Well, so I saw a lot of people like that do watch wrestling. Their biggest complaint was the over usage of wrestling terminology in the first one, like they'd be like not sticking to script and stuff and like real in your face with it, and they're like, yeah, we all know this, but it's like this is to get that casual viewer that doesn't know all the lingo and all the talk. And no, I think it's interesting. And they, I actually just read, I think yesterday or today, that the first episode they said was all the reviewers said was like the slowest paced, most boring episode of the season, basically. And I was like, okay, well, I thought it was pretty, like it was good enough to catch me to come back. So if that was the most boring, then shit, I'm here for that.
I definitely feel like our best bet moving forward on our review days, as far as TV goes, I think Marvel, we're good to do our weekly on. There's usually shit to get into on Marvel weekly. But everything else, I think we can just wait till we wrap it up and then get into it. Yeah, just dive dive in, especially with as much as is being thrown at us as it is right now. Uh, I mean, I think there's some shows that we're going to want to talk about week to week, but I think that'll be our best bet moving forward with all of this.
There's a lot of them, bro.
Yeah. What if we had the time to watch all of these shows?
And be spectacular.
And with that being said, let's get into our main event tonight. The What If of What If Wednesday, episode 2. What if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
Star-Lord.
This was another one of those things. I woke up at 3:33 a.m. I was like, that's some spooky shit. And I was like, fuck it. I guess I'm up. And it's that time, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw on What If. So I watched it at like 4 o'clock this morning. I'm glad I didn't jump the gun and just deem the whole series trash. I had a feeling if I just was patient that, I have a certain, level of quality I expect from Marvel, even on their weakest links. And last week did not do that for me. I mean, last week was, in my opinion, the weakest thing I've ever seen Marvel put out. And a lot of people dug it, but a lot of people agreed with me on the whole, oh my God, like it just fucking just flew by, like, at the speed of fucking light. You couldn't take anything in. You couldn't like sink your teeth into anything. And I think you and I kind of talked about this morning. I think you described it really well. Like they're going to fly through it. Like this episode didn't fly by like that because it was actually like mostly a new story as opposed to the last one where they were trying to fit a 2-hour movie into like 20 minutes and hit all those beats. And then the very end was like a sprinkling of something new.
And you pretty much already knew where it was going.
Yeah. This week, however, we get our first of 4 appearances of Chadwick Boseman. That made me a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie, seeing Chadwick Boseman in this, because he was so good. He was so good. This episode was exactly what I wanted out of What If. Like this is what I was looking for out of this show, and we're gonna get into spoiler territory here on this one, but the ramifications of this, like this was really cool to see how big of a difference this What If made. You can kind of like guess like the different changes with like last week's What If, but this one was like, no, boom, like yeah, I'm talking just universal, just like an impact on abducting T'Challa instead of Peter Quill. And it was awesome. I mean, literally from the moment that what I can't think of that guy's name. The character that Jimon Hansu plays, who when he comes in, he's like, "Who?" Like
Yeah.
But in that classic Guardians of the Galaxy scene, and he's like, "You may know me by another name," and he takes that helmet off, and I'm waiting for him to go, "Who?" And when he just goes, "Oh my God, it's Star-Lord!" It's like, show some respect, like that. Don't you know who the fuck that is? That's Star-Lord. And his character was great in this episode. The guy who's Korath, I think is his name. He was great in this episode. I thought the great plan, no notes. Like he had all these great lines in this one. I feel like his like one-liners worked so much better than Bucky's did last week. I still can't get over those corny ass lines. Who ordered the calamari? I'm like, Jesus Christ. But he gets along with Yondu and all of them. It changes that group dynamic completely. And I don't know, man, even in animated form, like T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman just have this presence, this regal quality about it. I mean, it's royalty. This is our king. This is, the fucking king of Wakanda, no matter where he is. And the biggest surprise for me was that Thanos reveal, showing that he was a good guy. It's like, how did you convince Thanos to? And then he shows up, and then he's constantly joking about, he's like, I got this plan, and everybody's like, that's genocide. And it's like, I really enjoyed that, and it was just cool to see all the different ramifications that had, including Drax having a good life, and he's like, I'm gonna go home and tell my wife and daughter about this. And you're like, oh, that's cool, like his wife and daughter. We get old Howard the Duck back for a little bit. Nebula
being dope.
Yeah. It's just a good episode. It was great. I loved it. I loved this episode.
No, I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was great because it was like its own original story. It
Yeah.
was nice that like even as Star Lord, T'Challa had like those same qualities he had as Black Panther. You know, he had that big heart. He could go talk to people. He could persuade people. You know, that's how he won Thanos over.
Very diplomatic, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's like he's, you know, he changed Yondu. It wasn't about screwing people over, making money and stuff. It was about helping people. Even Yondu was about it. I think I saw somebody had pointed out the fact that like even at by the end of that episode, Yondu says something to him about like, you know, whatever comes from the heart is like the same thing he tells Peter Quill at the end of Guardians 2. And it's like, but that's like when Yondu became good. And it's like it just goes to show that with T'Challa, he was good the whole time.
Right.
So it was dope. I like that little in tease where Ego shows up and it's like, Peter, come on. Because it's like, oh, I bet they go be some evil motherfuckers now.
Yeah, I'm noticing because my thing with What If, well, I know it's canon to everything else, which is I think is cool. That's something that broke my heart a little bit this week regarding Chadwick Boseman because he was so good in this that I would have loved to have seen this character like come over to live action. Like, and it breaks my heart that that's not going to happen. I think I thought that these were all just going to be like one-offs. Like here's just a different What If every week. But I think we're going to dive back into some of these worlds a few different times because I know Captain Carter's coming back for a few more episodes, and it looks like next week's episode because I know it's Loki's coming to Earth and doing some shit next week. But from the way it was looking, it almost looks like it picks up where episode 1 kind of left off. So I'm curious to see like what story threads are going to be like picked back up because I feel like we got a little bit more of that this week too with that little in tease with Peter and Ego. I feel like he said that's a story for another time, and I think we've seen some stuff in the trailer with them, and so I'm sure that will get picked up again later. So it's cool that we'll get to see farther ramifications of these what ifs instead of just being like, here's a what if, here's a what if, here's a what if, So I fuck with that.
No, I think it was dope. I really enjoyed this episode. I liked the little memoriam to Chadwick Boseman at the end. I thought that was a very beautiful touch to a really good episode.
Yeah. It did make me wonder if they're going to do that for every episode he's in because he is in like 3 more episodes. So I am curious if they're just going to be like, this one's also dedicated. It's like, are you trying to do this to me every time? God But no, I do appreciate that little touch. I'm excited to go back and rewatch this one. It's a good one this week.
Yeah, very good. Very, very, very good. Exactly what I expected from What If this week.
Yeah.
Is where we're at.
So here's a conversation I wanted to bring up. Not like we get a whole lot of conversation in the comments sections a whole lot, but this is an opportunity to do so. There's a little bit of a correlation with What If and Dave that I wanted to get into. And that's starting a series out on a weak note. And, sometimes, like, I feel like that's not a bad thing because you don't want to start out super strong because then you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? Like, if you just start out with your biggest and best, that's exactly what people are going to expect every week. So if you have a weak episode, take Loki, for example, it didn't start out with its absolute best, but it started out pretty good. And then like when they have that episode where they go to Lamentus and just talk the whole goddamn episode, you feel that, like you feel that dip in quality. Whereas this one, it's like, okay, that first one was just okay. Like had they started with the Star-Lord and then gone into the next week with Captain Carter, I would have been like, what the fuck? What a step down from last week, and then you got something like Dave that took the first 4 episodes to be weak before it started getting strong. So I don't know. I'm just wondering, what do you think is the best approach to things like that? Because I would even say with our own series, I feel like ours is a steady build. personally. I think our show is a steady build. Like I think every episode gets a little bit better than the last and gets a little bit bigger and bigger. But for Dave, like something like that, I feel like you can't be that weak for that long because then people aren't going to stick around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you never know because they might not think that it was weak. They might have been like, "Oh, every episode we put out came strong and came correct." So you never know where it comes in that. But I would always just put it to me to, you know, kind of like fireworks, man. You want to have some pops and some good ones at the beginning, but you want that end to be the strongest. And so as long as they're hitting on the end being the strongest, it's like, yeah, okay. You know, it's a new day and age, you know, so maybe they're more so looking at the shows if you were binging it. You
Yep.
know, the beginning of a series would kind of be like your lull from the big bang of the end of the first season before it boom shoots you back up again.
Right, right.
But I do feel you on that. A lot of shows are doing that, but I
Because I
would
wouldn't
say
be surprised with What If there's another episode like the first episode. I'm sure there's going to be more of those to come. I have a feeling What If is going to be spread out a little more with the quality of episodes. I feel like we'll get some Captain Carters, some T'Challa Star Lords, and I think they might try to, or they just might be aces the rest of the way. Who knows?
we don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. What do you guys think? Drop it down there in the old comments section.
Please.
So
subscribe.
I think that's everything. Subscribe. Get us to the 100. Get us to that 100, and then just keep going. And 200, 300, 400,
1,000.
1,000. 1,000. Yeah, and again, thank you so much to everybody who has been helping out, been supporting, who's excited for the series. We're excited to show it to you. So we've taken the week off. We've had to take some time away from the camp, but we are back at the camp filming next week. So, ladies and gentlemen,
it'll be dope. It'll be out soon. You'll see it. You'll watch it. I know.
Hopefully love it.
Hopefully love it.
Or hate it, but tell people you hate it so that they'll at least watch it. No press is bad press.
Smooches and deuces.